Howdy folks, I'm Rascal Roe Deer, recklessly romping through radiant rose bushes.
I'm Amber.
And here are more radiant rose bushes for us to romp through, although they're completely frozen rose bushes, so I mean, maybe not the best choice.
Well, I mean, also rose bushes have thorns, so like I wouldn't recommend it to begin with.
Yes, I guess that's why we're in a row. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Calling My Friends Every Pony? Using a throwaway Reddit account because this situation is so specific, so if one of my friends sees this, hi! I'm a 32-year-old woman, and I have a good set of diverse friends with a good mix between various genders. Oftentimes, in this friends group, people will say, hey guys, or hey dudes, which most of the time I'm fine with. However, a few times I have said, hey girls, and one person in the group, we'll call him Tom, has gotten really angry about this. He was mad because he's not a girl, and wanting to respect his gender identity, I have not used that greeting when he was there. No other friend seems to have an issue with it, but I'm also not the best at reading social cues. But since people say hey guys and hey dudes, I figured that they were fine with it. Recently though, I have started saying every pony, because I remembered My Little Pony exists and I thought that it would be a funny throwback. This caught on with a lot of my friends in the group because they found it funny too. Tom sometimes would go, I'm not a pony, but I didn't think that he cared that much. However, one night at a party, I had arrived and I said, what's up, every pony? And this time, Tom immediately blew up and screamed, I am not a pony. And then he stormed out of the room. Everyone was kind of confused. Tom emerged with his coat and said that he was leaving because he's not going to take this disrespect. We were all confused and I asked him why he was having such an intense reaction, which may have made me the jerk here instead of just saying, I won't say every pony anymore. But honestly, I was wondering why he was having such an issue with this. Tom got mad and said that he's tired of being disrespected. Tom walked out of the apartment and slammed the door. The mood of the party was pretty soured by then, and I apologized to the host, who didn't really say much. It was a tense evening. Later that night, Tom dropped a really long message in our group chat about how he's tired of having his identity as a man disrespected, and he's a human, not a horse, and definitely not a girl. I replied in the group chat that he could have approached this calmly and seriously and brought up the issue and we would have resolved it. Then I asked him why did he think that it was okay for him to call everyone guys if we couldn't use a playful, fun, gender-neutral greeting. Tom said it was different, that guys and dudes is gender neutral. No one else in the group chat really said anything. I said that I would stop saying every pony, but that guy and dude is not gender neutral and he needs to check his biases. Now the air seems really tense. I feel dumb for starting this, but really angry at Tom for blowing up like this. My friend group seems to be in shambles because of a little stupid My Little Pony reference. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
I'm gonna say OP's a little in the wrong for not stopping after the first time Tom said this, expressed some discomfort. He didn't outright say, like, I don't want you to say this, but he did say, I'm not a pony.
Yeah.
Which does indicate that he's not comfortable with this. So I do think that Tom is the bigger jerk here for his overall reaction, the way he seems to see being a woman as like the greatest insult. Like, I'm not a horse and I'm definitely not a girl. Like,
it sounds like he would rather be a horse than a girl.
Well, that's how it comes across, is that being a woman is something so lowly that like he would rather be called a horse than a woman. And so I definitely understand people wanting their gender identity respected, and I can see why Opie has a problem with using guy and dude because those are not gender neutral. There's actually a really good comment that if points out that if someone says that guy and dude are gender neutral and they're like a hetero man, just ask them how many guys or how many dudes have you slept with and see what their response is. And so, yeah, I think that OP didn't do a very good job of expressing her discomfort to begin with. She just started using she was trying to like show the difference, but it didn't necessarily express to people why she was uncomfortable. So I think like explaining to people that, hey, can we not say this? I'm not comfortable with this might have been a better approach. But I also think Tom really needs to reflect and see why he thinks being associated with femininity is such a horrible, horrible thing that he would rather be a pony.
So, I mean, again, I kind of fall along the same lines as Amber in the respect that I think that after he expressed discomfort, that they should have stopped because you shouldn't call somebody by something that they don't want to be called. And, I think that the problem here is that Tom is taking this way too seriously. Like, this isn't any different from having a mascot on a team and being called something. Like, my home team was ponies, so I'm a pony, right?
Well, we were the Rams, but the women's team was called the Lady Rams,
The Lady Rams.
which that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and the thing is that, these kind of teams names, like if you're a tiger, for instance, right? It's gender neutral because like there are both male and female tigers, right? Like there's not like a single gender of tiger, for instance, right? There's not like they don't reproduce asexually or anything like that, right? And the same thing goes with like ponies. They're just smaller horses. So I think that in that respect, I don't think that this is as big of a problem as Tom is painting it to be. And there might be more going on here, and maybe it's worth sitting down with Tom and trying to dissect these feelings, because it just seems like he is kind of having a really over-the-top reaction to this kind of fun, playful thing that OP added in order to make people not feel left out, right? I mean, this kind of reminds me of the post we just recently read where someone was saying there was a group of guys with one girl, and then he's like, hey guys, and she was like, oh, there are girls here too, or something like that, right? And I mean, I think it just kind of reinforces that maybe people are a little more sensitive to these kinds of things, and that that isn't necessarily a problem, and people should just be called what they want to be called, right? If Tom wants to be called a guy, that's fine, but he also has to know that that works both ways, and if other people are uncomfortable with being called a guy, then he should respect that as well, right? So I guess the way OP should be at this point in time is say, hey, every pony and Tom, and then that'll resolve the situation maybe, or inflame it. Probably
Actually,
inflame it.
yeah, I would probably inflame it. But and in the comments, my favorite gender neutral greeting option they offered was attention Kmart shoppers. So like, now I just want to bring that back. So next time you're with a gathering, just be like, attention Kmart shoppers.
That only works if you bring a blue light.
But you should, yes, get the blue light, and yeah.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for cutting my sister off after she fought with me and called me a homewrecker? And Amber wants to read this one.
We are 3 siblings. I'm 24, my sister is 28, and my brother is 33. My relation with my sister has always been strong, but it started deteriorating 7 months ago. My sister was rude and started avoiding me. I was confused because I never did anything to her, but I didn't say anything because I am the youngest and would just ignore her rude remarks. My sister is married and she lives with her husband. My brother is also married and lives with my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law is 32 and she and I get along really well. In our family, I only share a deep bond with her. I help and accompany her and she thinks of me as her younger brother. A week ago, I accompanied my sister-in-law to go shopping and we stopped at a fast food place near our home to eat because we were starving. My sister showed up out of nowhere and started questioning us. She kept asking us about what we were doing here and how long have we been out together, etc. We told her that we went shopping and just stopped to eat, but she was acting all weird and said that we all need to discuss this, and then she left. At night, she showed up in our home with our parents and she started saying that my relation with my sister-in-law is inappropriate and we should maintain our distance, especially during when my brother is absent. She has been noticing me for the past few months and I am acting creepy. I get a bit angry and told her that there's nothing creepy about me. I went with my sister-in-law for shopping and we decided to eat. That's all. My brother and my sister-in-law backed me up and they said that they are okay with me and trust me. My sister said that it's inappropriate and I shouldn't be spending so much time with my sister-in-law and I should move out or live with her. I told my sister that she's accusing me of something gross in front of everyone and I never expected this from her. She said I am a homewrecker and I should keep my distance. So I told her to F off and told her that I am cutting her out of my life and I left and I am currently staying with my friend. She has been my friend since high school, but my sister-in-law and brother are asking for me and send me texts and call me every day to come back and to not mind my sister. My sister-in-law asks me to come back home and we can resolve the situation and clear the confusion, but I told her I would rather stay away from everyone than be called a creepy or homeworker or whatever. So am I the jerk? My brother and my sister-in-law are angry at my sister with what she said to me. Should I resolve the situation or just stay away from everyone, even from those who care about me? Sorry if my English was bad.
All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. I mean, it seems like brother is totally fine with this arrangement. You know, brother and sister-in-law are the two people who matter in the situation.
Yeah.
Now, I don't blame OP for wanting to kind of like back out of a situation where they're being accused of something untoward when they're just helping their sister-in-law out. So I don't think OP is wrong per se for wanting to keep their distance. I think whatever you're most comfortable with is fine in this case, like going back and helping them or staying and keeping your distance. I don't think there's a bad option there. It's about your comfort level. Now, sister is really in the wrong and sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. It was one thing to express her concerns, but once OP's brother was like, nope, I'm cool with this, she really should have just backed off and let it be.
Yeah, I mean, there's something going on with her, and this is her problem and not OP's problem, right? She needs to be the one that goes into therapy and works out this problem because it isn't on OP to make her comfortable with the relationship he has with his sister-in-law. Now, the only people that really matter, whose opinions really matter in this situation, are OP, their sister-in-law, and their brother, right? Those are the only people that matter. If everyone is fine with that arrangement, then that's all that matters. Now, I also want to say, even if there was something untoward going on and they were all fine with it, right? I'm saying everyone agrees with that type of situation, then it wouldn't be anyone else's business. But that's not even what's going on here, right?
Well, exactly. Like, if you're concerned that there's some kind of cheating going on it's fine to confront people and see what's going on. But like, once every party involved is like, we are fine with this arrangement, you need to just back off.
And also, it's kind of one of those things where, clearly a guy can't have a female friend type of situation.
Which is a really gross and unfortunate attitude. I really don't like the assumption that OP's sister is leaping to, that since they're different genders, this automatically has to be cheating.
Yeah. Now, if they were getting really close and like she really suspected them of actual like cheating and stuff like that, it might be a good idea to talk to their brother and try to figure out if there, actually is something going on here. But unless you have reason to believe that someone is cheating, it's really not great to accuse them of cheating. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, I'm a 27-year-old female and I have a backpack that I've neglected to clean out for a while, and my boyfriend, a 27-year-old male, took everything out and laid it all on the floor. Any advice? Basically, I have this backpack where I keep all of my climbing gear. It has a bunch of older gear in it, like a few pairs of old climbing shoes and that type of thing. I keep my current gear at the top of the bag and it works fine. Sure, it's not organized, but it is my bag. My boyfriend does not use the bag. The bag does not affect his life, to my knowledge. He's been complaining about my bag for the past few years. He periodically tells me that I should clean it out, get rid of stuff, and reorganize it, etc. I usually ignore him or point out that it's my bag, so he doesn't need to worry about it himself. Yesterday, I came home from work and he had emptied the entire bag and laid everything out on the floor in our apartment. He didn't say anything when I saw it, so I was like, what's that? He initially said that he had knocked it over and the stuff had just spilled out. I pointed out that the entire bag wouldn't have spilled out and neatly organized itself onto the floor. Then he said that he wants me to clean out the bag, so he emptied it to show me how it needs to be cleaned out. He didn't even have an answer as to why, so I was just like, that's pretty annoying. And then I left it there for now. It's still on the floor, and he hasn't said anything about it. Look, I'm not even that messy. I have a higher standard of cleanliness than him and do most of the cleaning in our apartment. I just don't get why my bag needs to be emptied out or how it affects him in any way. And I am annoyed that he went through my stuff when I told him not to. Any advice or insight on how to handle the situation? The stuff is on the ground and I'm not sure what to do. Thanks. Edit. Thanks for the advice. I appreciate the affirmation that this is weird and all of the takes on what to do next. I am considering the various approaches and will update when I decide. For your information, I answered some questions in the comments, but I'm adding here that the bag doesn't stink. Edit. Update. I did speak to him more about this evening and he ended up cleaning it up by himself and putting it all back in the bag before I circled back to it. I asked if he could explain more why he felt that I need to take everything out of my bag. He said that he knocked it over and then he looked inside the bag and saw all the stuff in it and he didn't like it. It bothered him and he thought that everything would be so much better if I would just toss some of the stuff. So he laid it out for me to go through of it to get rid of. I asked why it mattered since it was my bag and it doesn't affect him at all, and he shrugged. So still reevaluating. Further advice is welcome. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, this is a difficult and strange situation. Like, I'm really perplexed by his motives because it seems kind of controlling. Like, he's decided that this bag is bothering me in its current state, and so I want you to do something about it. But there's no clear reason. Like, OP's tried talking to him, and he won't give her any reason why it bothers him, why it needs to be cleared out. I'm wondering if, like, maybe he has an issue with the hobby of climbing as a whole and is trying to get her to cut down on it or something. But like, if he's not asking her to throw out everything, that doesn't really make sense. So I don't know. It's really baffling to me.
So the way I see this is it's an itch to scratch, right? It just has gotten in his mind that this is a problem. And sometimes that happens. He needs to go into therapy and he needs to work on, his control issues, because this is really what it boils down to at the end of it, is that this, for some reason, he feels like he needs to have control over the situation, and he's taking that out on OP. Now, I'm glad that he took initiative to put the stuff back in the bag, because that shows at least he's realizing to some degree that maybe he's wrong here. So I think that there is hope that this relationship could be salvaged, but I think he needs to apologize, and I think he really needs to sort out why he wants to have this bag emptied out, right?
Right. Well, that's the baffling thing, is it doesn't sound like he's even less tidy than OP in general. So it's not like a general, like, I need things to be clean, because some people like have a really hard time being around anything they perceive as mess or clutter.
Yeah.
So there's something about this bag in particular, and until they get to the bottom of that, that's...
Yeah. My actual theory, and I know I already gave you one theory, is that he killed somebody and put someone in the bag and its heart is beating and he hears it all the time. And so it's just like that's what happened. The tall tale bag. So it happens, all these kinds of things. So
I mean, he could have used her old climbing gear to commit some kind of crime and then stuff it back in there, and it's like, now I gotta have her dispose of it.
So I don't have my fingerprints on it anymore. All right. Well, let me know what you folks think.
There's lots of holes in this theory, by the way. I fully recognize that.
There are no holes in this theory at all. It's great. I like the theory. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a very funny joke.
Why did the ball gown don glitter and pearls?
Well, the ball gown donned glitter and pearls because it was trying to look all fancied up and it was going out for a party. But the only problem is that it had no body to go with.
Oh, that's sad. You always make everything sad or morbid.
It's a joke. No body. It's a gown. The gown. It doesn't have a body inside of it.
I know, but like, you just made it sad because it was a dress to impress.
Oh, very good. Very good.
And today is National Dress Day.
Yeah. So go find yourself a dress and put it on.
If that's your jam. And it's also National Brian Day.
Oh, so go find yourself a Brian.
I found one.
You did. You did. And I have the special guest tea, some matcha.
And I did not make that one up. It is on National today. So if you look it up, you will see it's Brian Day today.
Yes. So spread the word about the Bryans. We're here. We're going to help the world in some meaningful way. That's what Bryans do. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior, folks.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it a newspaper headline.
Local man has gone missing. All that was found is a bungee cord from climbing equipment. More details at 6.
Wow, that went in a completely different direction. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.